So it's unlevel, huh?
Is it?
I mean, yeah, everything is unlevel. So we're back. So what are we talking about today?
So today, let's talk about being comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. 'Cause I feel like
I'm uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, this is
Go
a
ahead.
topic that I know a lot of people probably shy away from. Me, I'm people. I'm very guilty.
I'm not people.
We know.
I don't give a. No, I'm saying.
We know, but I'm definitely uncomfortable with having those. I'm uncomfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, so I'll never be comfortable. But I mean, it's definitely something to discuss. So let's get into it. Let's go.
Okay, so the other day I sent a meme out, and it said something to the effect of you either have those uncomfortable conversations and fuck everything up, or don't have the uncomfortable conversations and fuck yourself up, right? So that kind of like was the scope of it, because it's that simple. Shameless plug.
Okay.
That you have a simple one right now. It's a nice hoodie too. You can get that hoodies at a Simple Cloth.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. That's not shameless. I'm regular.
Is it your shit?
Give a shit. It's a nice hoodie you have on. It's very nice. I don't have one like that. But anyway, so it's like that kind of like captures the situation, because I feel like it's super important to have those uncomfortable conversations, because without those conversations, change does not happen.
I agree.
So what is your reservations about having said uncomfortable conversations?
So, full transparency, I am more comfortable having those type of conversations with people that I don't care and love. Sad.
I don't care and
Yeah,
love? What do you mean?
if I don't care about your feelings, or if I don't love you,
Oh.
then I will have an uncomfortable conversation all day. Like, I have no reservations at all. I will tell you like it is. I'll tell you what it's about, and I'll tell you what I expect or don't expect, period. But when you make it a little bit more personal, that's something that I'm just uncomfortable with. So to have making it comfortable to have that uncomfortable conversation because I actually care about the person is where I struggle. So that's where I'm at with it.
Right. So, okay. So let's talk about the people you can have conversation with. Let's put them to the side. Mm-hmm. The people you can't, or you have a problem with. Do you feel like those situations need to be spoken about, or you can just not talk about it and continue to just go along with it? Or does it bother you like I'm unable or unwilling, or it's uncomfortable to have these conversations? Are you all right with it?
So that goes to the part that you said, like whatever the meme or the post that you put up where you said you suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
With that? Yeah. So
do you
like,
feel the suffer?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely. Because I know that it's something that probably should be addressed, but I just won't address it because I'm uncomfortable with having that conversation. So I just let it go and I'll just eat it. But meanwhile, I mean, like the the people that I'm really, really close to, I'll express like, hey, like, this is bothering me and this is how I'm feeling. But the person that actually is doing whatever it is that's bothering me, I probably won't approach them, only because I'm non-confrontational. That's just a me thing. Like, that's probably something that I need to work on. Everything is about growth. But what I will say is that I'm aware of the fact that I need to address that I'm uncomfortable with having this conversation or bringing it to the forefront, because it could be a plethora of things. I don't want to hurt the person's feelings. I don't know what the end result is going to be after I bring said thing to them. Like, it could be a whole bunch of things. So to avoid all of that, I'll just suffer in silence.
Which I feel is you're doing yourself a disservice. That's why
I agree.
I put that in the universe. You have to I feel like you have to free yourself from certain situations, and that being one of the situations. And I also feel like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, at some point you got to choose you, right?
That's easier said than done, though.
It is, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Like, I don't have a problem with having uncomfortable conversations, right? I don't, like, I mix it up, right? Because I feel like the people that know me in my life, they kind of like label me an asshole, right?
Well, I mean, they probably know too that it's probably coming from a good place.
It's sometimes, but as of late, it's been coming from a bad place. So people have shown me this come from a bad place. But I guess it's all individualized, right? But the situation that I have with my pops is probably the only situation that I feel like I don't want to do because I know it's ramifications and I know that it can go super left. So I'm fearful of that situation only. But anybody else, fuck them, fuck you, and fuck that. Right?
Whoa.
Because I want to be on.
With your chest.
Right, say it with your chest. Oh, this show is sponsored by Sharks and Whales. You can get it at Sharks and Whales on Instagram.
Is it at Sharks and Whales?
It's at Sharks and Whales on Instagram.
AND.
And I don't think they cut the check. But we can get that same fake check to Blas. Because this is a rude thing now, right? Because I'm going to get a check from him and give it to him. And it may not work. But we're working. But we're working. It may not work, but we're working. But anyway, I digress. That's a situation I can feel like I empathize or sympathize with you because of the magnitude. So the person I do love the most, when I wrote the text out that I was going to send to him and I sent it to other people, people said, whoa. You can't say that because it's just
people, and I was definitely like, whoa.
It's so rough.
Yeah.
But it's like, I felt like that's something that was super uncomfortable. So I understand. But I also feel like until I do that, I'm not free. I'm still going to live like captive to this human being.
Right,
I don't want to suffer no more.
Okay.
I want to say it like, boom.
So are you prepared for whatever comes after you drop the mic? I'm
prepared for whatever comes to me.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm not prepared for whatever happens to him. Oh. So it's like it's a selflessness. Like I'm more concerned about how he'll handle it than whatever comes back to me. Cause me, I'd be like, I said it. So what? What we gonna do about it? But he might. That might make him start using again, or you know what I'm saying, or because that was so deep, right? You don't even want to play that game. So I understand that, but for the most part, I feel like you have to be vindicated. You gotta say what's going on. You got a voice. Say what you need to say to the people that you need to say it to. Because who you hurting? They, like I said, they going about their life regular. Everything's cool with them. You the one that be like, damn, that nigga, homie just, come on, man. Like, I ain't deserve, I feel like this, if they step on your feelings and don't know that they hurt you, then it be our fault. It's my fault too. If I allow him to hurt my feelings and never say something, then it's my fault. Or I have to own it. And it's not fair.
Yeah, I'm super uncomfortable with the opposite end. So like, I remember back in the day.
Story time.
Yes. I used to, when I had an issue or an uncomfortable situation with my mom's, I used to like not say nothing or whatever. And then when I would address it, she'd be fucked up. And then from her being like, so she wouldn't talk for like 2 weeks and she'd be like moping around the house. And that used to make me feel so bad that I even addressed whatever said issue was to make me never want to address it anymore because I didn't want to put her through that. So while it may have been freeing for me to address whatever the issue was and to put her on like, hey, this is what's going on about this, the end result was so bad that I would rather just take the L.
See, in those situations, I feel like this. It's kind of like this. We talked about this, like energy can't be created or destroyed. Like it's a scientific fact, right? Only transferred. Yeah. So when you give somebody some heavy shit and they internalize it and then drag around that heavy feeling, that energy then comes back to you because you have to deal with them dragging that feeling around, right?
It's bad. I hated it. I felt worse after than I did carrying whatever it is, what the issue was that I addressed.
But the thing about it is like, because of that, right? People have to like be self-aware, right? You have to know like, if you give me something heavy, I gotta say to you like, that was heavy, and I appreciate or respect your honesty and your transparency. You have to free the person who gave that to you from feeling the kind of way. but people aren't there.
No, I was just about to say.
You have to do it though.
Right.
We gotta stop.
It
stop.
doesn't work that way because the human emotion is to get on a defense. Somebody says something to you, whether it's true or not, whether you agree with it or not, the natural progression of humans is to get on the defense. So like anything, like you bring something to any human or whatever, and you say, hey, XYZ, whatever, is the instance is to reject it, whatever it is. So you're like, no, you didn't, or you didn't have that, or whatever the case may be. Like, that's just humans. That's just what it is. It's not until they actually think about it and be like, oh, but maybe. But like to accept whatever it is that's coming to you, we don't do that. So if you're having an uncomfortable conversation with someone and you're bringing it to them and you're saying, hey, I didn't appreciate XYZ, or it's something that you do that you probably don't even realize that you do, but I'm shining light on it and I'm letting you know, hey, this is what you do, and you might want to tighten up on that. It's never really received in the right way. Like it's self-doubting. It's of course you're on the defense. It's a whole bunch of plethora of other emotions that are invoked just because, even like I said, even if it's true or if it's not true. So I think as humans, that's what we do instead of really like taking like a chord to like, maybe he got something there, or maybe she's right. A friend of mine was telling me that every time she's talking to her friend always makes it relevant to herself. So
it's called narcissism. Sorry.
Is it?
It is. Anytime that you tell somebody something and they make it relevant to themselves and stop you or say, I got this too, or this happens, it's narcissism. And we got to like check people for like that. Sidebar.
Okay.
Narcissism is our next topic. You are an undercover narcissist and you need checking.
Okay.
You be like,
but,
but me too.
But I
had a flat tire.
Right. But I don't know if it necessarily would be narcissism. I mean, maybe it is, maybe
Look
up
narcissism.
Maybe it is, maybe. I used to date one. I know what narcissism is.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is, maybe like I think people make things relatable. I remember I was talking to a very good friend of mine, and one thing that I didn't even realize that I used to do when we would speak is that I would be telling her a story, and then I would make it relatable to something that I knew that we had in common, or that she knew, or something that she told me. And she pulled I didn't even realize that I did that to her. She told me this was many, many years ago. And if she's watching, then she knows who she is.
You watch, you know.
But I didn't even realize that I did that. And she said, you know what? And she pulled me up. And she said, you know what? When someone is telling you something, she said, allow them to make their own comparison to whatever it is that they're doing, that's comparable in their lives, instead of you making the comparison for them, for it to be relatable to the story that you're telling. Clueless to know that I was actually doing that. And since she said that, to date, I don't do it anymore. I just listen.
Because she's smart and she's mature.
Oh,
and you have to start conveying
but
that to other people.
Everybody is not like that friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, she pulled my coattails and she made me aware of something that I didn't even realize that I was doing. So that
I was a narcissist too. You was a narcissist at that time. You're being narcissistic at that particular time.
But I wasn't relating it to me. I was relating it to something that I felt that she can relate to, that I knew.
Oh, so
try to make the story relatable to her.
Don't do that.
So that's not being a narcissist.
You're being a bad friend. How about
that? Oh my gosh, no! I'm just trying to. And she's like, no. She pumped my brakes. Like, people can correlate their own and identify their own thing with whatever it is that you're talking about. You don't need to like say, hey, like, remember when we went to Miami and dude did such and such and such? Yeah, that's like this. She said, like, you don't need to do that.
She's on another level. She's on like level 10.
That's my chick. Like, she's dope. I want to be her when I grow up.
I need to stop for a second.
What?
Boss. I need to stop for a second. Her mic is on the inside and it's rubbing against that thing. Is that going to be a problem? She doesn't have her mic right.
No, it should be fine. You have the backup. She's fine.
Okay, because I ain't wanted to be like, we finished and be like, I ain't wanted to be like that, so I ain't know.
Yeah, no, we have the other one too, just in case.
Okay,
Down,
good. Oh, you can leave that in. Don't really matter. I don't give a shit. Don't matter. Leave that shit in there. Don't really matter.
No.
Leave that in there. You can leave that in there. Don't matter. Because it happened. It was real.
Oh my God.
Why you want to leave it in? Pause. Don't talk like that.
Oh my God. No, don't leave it in.
Hey.
Cut it. Hey, yo.
Whoa.
Vasectomy?
Nah. So, damn, vasectomy? That's what we got?
Cut it.
So, okay, so the ill shit about the uncomfortable conversations, right, is like, I just feel like they need to be had in order to grow. Like, I feel like a lot of times we're just out here really like pacifying each other all the time or saying, oh, she's like that or he's like that or he's not going to take this well. But we need to have those conversations because I think that is like the destroy to build up type of situation. Because after that, there's a good chance she'll be better if it's coming from a good place.
Well, you're a confrontational person. Everybody.
I like to fight.
I'm not. I'm non-confrontational to the people that I love.
But every time we on here, you yelling and pointing and screaming at me.
Well, then I love you because the people that I love. No, maybe I don't love you. I don't.
Right, exactly. What the fuck are you talking about? You're wilding on this shit.
No,
Like,
maybe
you're
I
bugging.
don't. But no, I mean, I'm comfortable with you, so I can. And then you be talking a lot of shit, so I may want to like check you on the bullshit that you be talking about. But in the event, the people that I like hold near and dear and true to my heart, if it's of a serious nature, I mean, we shooting shit. But if it's of a serious nature, no, I'm just not prepared for whatever that backlash is. And I don't want to hurt your feelings, even though mine's probably already hurt.
Right. So what about you
just,
though?
I know, no.
All right.
I can eat that. I'm strong, so I'll just take it.
Let's go with the cliche.
Give me my licks.
Aren't you the most important person to yourself?
Absolutely.
We're gonna go cliche, right?
I mean, if they say like you're such a selfish person, but I think like who else are you supposed to think about besides yourself if you're like, you should think about yourself.
Yeah, but it's like, so say you got a person, right? Say you got a person that's just hurting your feelings and they don't know. Or taking you for granted. Or making your life complicated. And they're just moving through their life. Don't you feel like they shouldn't be able to have that over you? They shouldn't be able to just laugh and kiki and that laugh and kiki like causes you discomfort, but it still causes discomfort. They don't know, but you still go home and be like, damn, this nigga, man, like, homie just like he just stepped on my feelings. Like, when do you say to yourself, like, no, I gotta do something? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know I'm opinionated and I talk a lot, right? So, and I think on the other side of that, people be like, oh, he talk a lot, so they might not even listen to me. It might like fall on deaf ears because I talk so much and I say so many things like, my cousin, Aunt Tiff, like, what's her thing? Like, Russ with his opinionated ass, right? That's something that stuck, right? I have a lot of opinions, and I'm not scared to give them out. But the problem is, I feel like at this stage of our lives, when you're 40 plus years old, heal yourself, man. And I think the way you heal yourself is by living in your truth, but expressing your truth. Like, this is what it is. Like, your behavior or the way you handle me is causing me discomfort. And you should be able to say that to a person without, like, yo, you do this, you know, the neck rolling, like you said, you don't got to do all that shit. Like, yo, this is causing me discomfort. Okay. The way you handle me, it doesn't sit well with my spirit.
People don't do that. That's the unlovable part.
Let's start. This is the reason why we said the podcast is to change things. Like, because a lot of this shit don't matter. Like, if without it, we just like living like robots, like crazy in the world, and I don't particularly like that shit. Here go the story we was talking about. I said story time. I knew a girl. We had relations a couple times, right?
Okay.
And one time I went to her house and her odor from her vagina was rough, and she had on pants and panties, like, and I was like grossed out.
She's in the crib. She was chilling.
Cool, but I was grossed out. So
before I just company, she should have jumped in that shower real quick if she was gonna have company.
Everybody got a shower.
That's another story for another time.
But look, the engineer said you gotta use the bathroom for $1. Everybody uses the bathroom, right? The engineer said you gotta use the bathroom for $1, right? So everybody uses the bathroom, right? So she should have did that shit. She should have gotten the tub, right? So we over there. We not having relations. This is a regular day.
Okay.
I just smell her on a regular day. So I'm like, this ain't right. So when I came to her, I had an uncomfortable conversation. I was like, I don't want her to think that this is okay.
You told this lady that she wasn't right?
I was a kid. I was a kid. I was in my teens or my early 20s, something like that. I was a kid. I've been saying fucked up shit to people. So I said, you know, I casually said like, yo, you know, that don't really smell right. It don't. Is everything okay? And she was like she was kind of like embarrassed. And she was like, nah, what happened is I took this new medication. She was like a person that was sickly as a kid, so she had a whole lot of medication. She said medication, you know, this is a side effect of the medication, and I really can't do. I got to go through the course of the day. I mean, of the trial or whatever. So maybe 7 days or whatever medication. She was like, it's going to happen. I can't do nothing about it. And I was like, one, Bishop should have said something. And two,
You would have came over?
and two, you should have been like, I'm gonna wash up a little bit, or maybe put on some panties with deodorant or something. What are you gonna, I don't know. We're gonna do something, spray that shit or something. But it was rough. But the moral of the story is, having that conversation, I understood that she was on medication, and it wasn't her fault. It wasn't just like she just didn't give a fuck about her hygiene, because I could have just spun like, I don't want to have this uncomfortable conversation. I'm never gonna talk to this woman again, right?
That ain't right. I'm out.
Because it was offensive. It was offensive. Like,
it was that loud?
Bad loud. That's like the person that got the weed on the train. Like,
Oh, so if first of all, I mean, shout out to this young lady, but
shout out to my lady. Say that.
No, not on this one. Not on this one. Sorry.
Yo, tighten up, bro.
Not on this one. But if she should, if you said, yo, I'm about to come through, you smell yourself first. She should have been like, nah, now's not a good time.
She was wrong. She was wrong.
She should have said that.
She was wrong.
She should have.
So
but I mean,
sum
if
it
she
up,
was young, then you know.
Still don't matter. So sum it up. How do you feel about this uncomfortable conversation? What are you here to tell the people?
So I think I'm guilty. We're all a work in progress, right? I'm guilty. It is very important to have those uncomfortable conversations because they're necessary. Whether you feel comfortable or not, you know, you don't want to be suffering in silence. You want to be able to go ahead and say whatever it is that needs to be said and kind of like let the chips fall where they may. But it's very important. But it as uncomfortable as it may be, it is necessary.
Right.
Facts.
Big Queens.